We continue on in Hebrews 11 with Moses. Moses had a pretty active life at points. A lot of his life was actually spent in the wilderness, wandering, watching sheep for 40 years. But there's a few points in his life where he exercised, specific great actions of faith, and then that's what our author gets into. It says, by faith, verse 28, he kept the Passover and sprinkled the blood so that the destroyer of the firstborn might not touch them. And 29 says, by faith the people crossed the Red Sea as on dry land, but the Egyptians, when they attempted to do the same thing, were drowned. These are two stories out of the book of Exodus, and they demonstrate the faith of Moses in leading these people. The first time, God says to Moses, hey, the last plague is going to come, and it is the plague of death. And I'm going to send the destroying angel, and he's going to destroy the firstborn of everybody in Egypt, even animals. Unless you take a lamb and you kill it, and you take its blood and you put it on the doorpost. And so Moses and the people of Israel, that's what they did. They believed what God said. They took him seriously when he said, this is going to happen and this is what you need to do. Second instance, they were up against the Red Sea. Their backs were against the Red Sea. The Egyptian army was closing in. They were hemmed on every side. And Moses, basically said, God, you got to save us or else we're toast. And he said, stretch out your rod over the sea. Charlton Heston. And he stretched out his rod, and when he did, the sea parted. So in both of these instances, we see Moses believing what God said. And because he believed what God said, big things happened. Amazing things, salvific things happen. Just makes me wonder, what things about what God says do I need to believe today? He says a lot of stuff in the Bible. That's why we need to read the Bible. That's why it's so important to be in the Word for ourselves. Believe maybe about who we are, about who God says we are. Maybe we need to believe things about what the temptation that we're going through is, and the nature. It looks so good, but we need to believe what is actually true about it. That it is the road to death and destruction, pain, and separation from God. And we need to believe something about loving the people around us. We love because he first loved us. I don't know what it is, but that's just something that comes to mind. Moses is this guy, he believed God. And God worked through that trust and that belief. He believed what God said. And are we that same kind of person who will believe what God says?